All right. Good morning. Welcome back. How we doing? Morning, Captain. Morning, Jay. What's up, Margin? Buenos dias. How's everyone's weekend? Good weekend? Any fun things? I went to my college's football game, UCF. What a ridiculous game that was. If anyone watched that. It was a good game to be at, but we blew a 30-point lead. Insane. Fun, though. Golf on Sunday, nice. Nice. Woke up listening to the stream on your run. Nice. Way to get out there and run, Shree. Very nice. Keep that motivation going. You went to high school down the street? What, Oviedo, Ty? So, we got Tesla delivery numbers this morning, so that should be interesting. Interesting to see how that affects the market. A little bit of Tesla delivery numbers, always fun to watch. The economic calendar, not much today. We do have a little bit on the docket today. It's sort of a light week on the economic calendar side. Really not much going on there. Did we get some earnings coming back yet? Let's see. Nah, not yet. Earnings calendar still pretty light. So, looks like Tesla delivery numbers is going to be the highlight of the day in terms of economic data, economic news, or I guess you can consider that some type of a news event. But yeah, technical levels still remain the same as last week. We really haven't moved anywhere. The rejection we talked about on Friday, if you guys remember the Friday stream, we were talking about being cautious of longing anything into that 15,050 level on the Nasdaq futures. And after that little pre-market upside, and that's exactly what happened. So the Nasdaq had a little bit of pre-market upside, got the bulls getting in, getting excited, and we rejected supply. And this was just a great example of still reacting to technical levels, trusting the levels, not trading based off of some kind of a bias, right? Because I'm sure a lot of people were upside biased on Friday morning when the pre-market was going higher. But we knew here, if you guys watched the streams, we knew we had supply at 15,050. And that was a very key rejection on Friday. So we'll look at that here in the live stream. I hope you guys are having a good Monday so far. Let's just go ahead and get started. If you guys could, press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Let's do it. So I'm going to pull up the economic calendar first. You have Jerome Powell speaking at 11. I don't see that on here, but maybe I'm missing something. Let's go to the charts. So here's what I have for economic data today. I got 9:45 PMI, 10 o'clock ISM, 10 a.m. construction spending. I don't have Jerome Powell speaking at 11. Maybe I'm missing that here on this economic calendar. Tomorrow, we have 10 a.m. job openings, Wednesday, ADP, Thursday, our normal jobless claims, and then Friday, employment report, employment rate, unemployment rate, hourly wages. Not too much there. Next week is definitely a little bit more loaded, right? So not this week, next week, we have PPI, we have CPI, and we have FOMC minutes. So next week, definitely a little bit more to be paying attention to. PPI, CPI, and FOMC. I'm not sure if this is a typo or not. I'll have to double check for you guys, but usually CPI is the day before PPI. But it looks like it's reversed here. I'm not sure whether this is a typo. I'll have to double check just to confirm. But yeah, you got PPI on Wednesday, CPI on Thursday. Usually this is flipped. Usually you get CPI first. So interesting there. Yeah, market is closed next week on Monday. So we got ourselves a nice little 3-day weekend, which is awesome. I have a bachelor party this weekend, so that'll be a nice Monday to be off for sure. So yeah, good Monday to be off there. Excited for that little 3-day weekend coming up, guys. So yeah, that's that. Let's continue. Let's get started. Let's get into the schedule. Let's start it up. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you guys could. If you're new here, if you come here every day, then there should be no reason you don't press the like button, right? Let's get those likes up. All right, Tesla delivery numbers. That is this morning. Some people are saying around 8:30, 9 o'clock. We'll see exactly when it comes out, but definitely something to be watching this morning. Should provide a little bit of volatility there on Tesla. Nvidia, 443. Really important 443 level. It's not my bachelor party. It's a friend's. 443 level on Nvidia. Very key level here. Big time rejection area. Make sure to be paying attention to this. Apple, really tight range to be watching today. Netflix, I did enter that Netflix swing trade on Friday that we talked about. It's not really doing much yet. I don't expect it to do much, and I'm just sort of sitting in it. I started small. I'm willing to take a few losses here and there until it actually starts to wake up. But it is interesting. I'm still going to be watching this Netflix idea. Amazon retest. This is probably one of the cleaner watches I'm watching today on Amazon. AMD 102.50, very key level to watch today. And then finally, Google 133. Before we get into everything, I just want to say once again, the market is still very stuck sideways, right? This is still a market. We have to understand market context. We have to understand what the market has been doing. And we still need to know, right? We still need to know that the market is relatively sideways and the profit, and you have to still remain a profit taker, right? Any move, any big move you get in your favor in this market has proven to be nothing but a profit-taking opportunity, right? Any major move you've gotten, either to the downside or the upside, you have to take your profits, right? If the market is remaining sideways, that means any extreme that you get, either up or down, is nothing but a profit-taking opportunity. Keep that in mind when you trade, right? Over the last few weeks, that has been it. You get a move, take profits. It reverses, right? You reverse to the downside, it reverses back up. You get back down, you move back up, right? So that means every big extreme move you get, whether that's down or up, it is nothing but a profit-taking opportunity, and that's the mindset that I would remain in this market, right? That is the mindset that I would remain in. One second. Yeah, why did that say the market was closed? It doesn't say that on the market holidays. Let me just double check this for us so that make sure we don't provide any wrong information. Columbus Day. Okay, yeah, I take that back. It does not say markets closed on the official calendar, so I take that back. Market is not closed on Monday. The next market closure, damn, I wanted that Monday. Shit, I really wanted that Monday. Market's not closed, so let me make sure I don't provide any false information there. I said that the market was closed Monday because of Columbus Day. It is not. All right, I take it back. September 4th was our last closure. Next closure is November 23rd, Thanksgiving. So we don't have anything until Thanksgiving. If you guys ever want to check market holidays, just go to the official NYSE.com market holidays calendar. This is the best place to check. So here's all your market holidays. Next closure is November 23rd. All right. I wish we had Monday. Damn. All right. Let's get into it. Nasdaq futures. So we can clearly see here, right, guys? We are still in this 15,050 to 14,008 channel on the Nasdaq futures. We rejected that 15,050 on Friday. This was the exact level we talked about on Friday. It happened perfectly, right? This was exactly what we talked about. We said, be careful of this morning upside. We have 15,050 supply above. Be careful getting stuck in that continuation, right? And if you guys are part of the Discord, maybe you are, maybe you aren't, but we talked about this while the market was open. We were just logically thinking through, a true trader wants days off, man. Trust me. If you're at that point where you want market holidays, then you've been through it, right? You've been through the battle. You want those holidays. You want that mental relaxation. If you don't want holidays and you want the market to be open, you're still in the beginning stages of market addiction. If you guys were in the chat on Friday, right, this was our logical thought process. We were thinking through, okay, let's think about what's happening here. So we had a gap up on Friday, right? A gap up on the market. And if we know anything about the market lately, if we've been watching the market lately, we know a gap and go is very unlikely, right? Because the market has been relatively weak. What are the chances that the market gaps up and continues higher on a Friday after a really sideways slow week? That was our sort of thought process in the chat. So we were saying, hey, let's be careful of that thought process. Like, let's be careful of continuing to long things here up into 15,050 after a big gap up. I was taking profits pretty much at open on my swing trades. And yeah, it ended up being sort of exactly what we were thinking, that 15,050 supply. You can see right here, 15,000 causing a lot of rejections. And you got that gap fill, right? You pretty much just filled the overnight gap on the Nasdaq. You held that 14.8 again, which was very key, right? Remember this 14.8 retest level we talked about? 14.8 retest, that is still holding. So pretty much all you're watching today is between 14.8 and 15,050, right? That's really all you're watching. You look for potential longs here, potential shorts here. If you're trading anywhere between that area, you are pretty much just taking random shots, right? In my opinion, you're just sort of taking random trades. I really don't see any reason to be trading in between there. This level looks a little bit interesting to me this morning. This was something I was watching. This might be a sort of middle of the road level you could trade off of today. It's the 14,940, and here's why I say that. So if we sort of zoom and scale this chart, you can see a few reactions at this 14,940, right? 14,940 was Thursday's highs on the Nasdaq futures, right? This was also this pre-market low that caused upside. This was also a little intraday support, which tried to hold, but ultimately failed. We got back above 14,940 in the pre-market after hours. In the futures last night, we held it, right? We came back down around 2 a.m. Eastern time. We held it, right? And then look at what happened here early morning, around 5:45 a.m. this morning. Look at the reaction after breaking 14,940. Big flush to the downside. So I would say that 14,940 has some importance today. I would watch that level, right? So I would keep that level on my chart as sort of that. It's not a major level, right? It's not a major zone, but it definitely has some importance. So if you do get some kind of bounce today, you could look to see if this is that rejection point, right? You could look for this trade. You could look for that sort of short right off 14,940 today. That would be a short of this pre-market little support and a short of Thursday's highs, right? I think that's a very possible trade. 14,940 makes a lot of sense, right? Thursday's highs, previous lows here from the pre-market after hours, a little bit of a low from Friday open, right? So there could be a nice reaction off that 14,940. That's probably the only other level I'd be watching between this channel, right? So I'd say 14.8, 15,050, and then this 14,940 in the middle. Those are really the levels that I'd be paying attention to, all right? That 14,940 looks like it does sort of play across here. You guys can see that if we zoom out. It does also play across, which makes me even more confident in the level, right? When you see a level like that we spotted there on the shorter term, when we see it play out on the hourly chart further back, right, then it gives you a little bit more confidence on that level. So look what happened at 14,940 here. Look what happened at 14,940 here. And look what happened at 14,940 here. So we can see that 14,940 definitely has some importance. That would be that level I'd watch today, guys. That's probably the level you might be able to play something off of today. Whether that is a, sort of bounce into it, rejection, right? Or maybe it's a bounce and hold for a little bit of an upside scalp. Either way, 14,940, that's the level I'd watch on the Nasdaq futures. 15,050 supply above. That's your Friday high. And then this is your big support today, right? If you break below 14.8 today, if you get something like this today and you hold below it, that could definitely lead to some downside. So 14.8, big demand below. Keep an eye on that. All right? Let's continue. So, QQQ. Let's go 30-minute, actually. Let's get some more time. Here we go. We can clearly see the QQQ channel that has formed here. Now, what happened on Friday, right? Look at this really, really, really clean, right? And this is, again, why I still swear by daily SMAs, right? Daily SMAs are very important, right? We watch the SMAs in the daily, right? We sort of keep an eye on those daily SMAs out here on the daily chart. But I think it's very important to watch them for intraday reactions as well. I have seen countless times that intraday we react off daily SMAs. And you can see here once again, look at that wick rejection of the 100 SMA on Friday. That just does not get any cleaner. Look at that green line, right? This is your 100 SMA on the QQQ. Look at that green line and look at the reaction to it on Friday. It does not get any cleaner than this, right? That is a sweet, sweet, sweet wick rejection of the 100, and that was the high of day. That was the exact high of day. And if you took shorts off the 100 SMA on Friday, you crushed it, right? You absolutely crushed it. So that's 100% a level to be paying attention to. That's a level that you need to be cautious of, right? This level right here, this 100 SMA that's just sort of floating above the stock or above the price action should make you cautious of playing upside here, right? This should make you cautious of going and looking for upside as you start to approach it, right? This should scare you away. If this does not scare you away, then you are not trading based off of technical levels and probabilities, right? You're just trading off of hope and you're just trading off of hope that the market goes higher. If the market's trading up here and you are not exiting longs or you are not taking profits or if you're entering longs here, right, you're not paying attention to these rejections. That's as simple as that. And so I'm not interested in longs on the QQQ if we are below this level. It just doesn't make sense, right? I'm not going to fight that rejection after seeing what happened on Friday. I'm not going to fight that, right? I would rather get above it, hold above it, and if we hold above the 100, then I know I'm on the right side. So be cautious up here, guys. I don't like longs with this 100 SMA continuing to reject, right? I do not like longs with this 100 SMA rejecting like this. We took shorts off this last Friday, 2 Fridays ago. I don't know if you guys remember this day, but I took QQQ shorts off this 100 SMA back on the 22nd of September, and it was a sexy downside trade. And we did it again here last Friday. So first level to watch, I would say 361.50 on the Qs. That's definitely supply. You can see those rejections from this morning. If you get above 361.50, I would still be cautious into that 100 SMA, right? That's still a little bit of caution up there into that 100 SMA. Downside demand is right here at 357. 357 is your downside demand, right? You can see right here, 357, 357, and then all this 357 over here. If I go to the 15-minute chart and we sort of zoom in here and look at more short-term price action, right? Look at the last 2 trading days and look at 357. You can see right here, 350. I thought the delivery numbers came out. 357, right? Thursday hold. Friday, 357, low a day, right? So this is where you need to be a trader, right? This is where you need to be a trader, right? Because, yes, we did reject the 100 SMA on Friday, right? And, yes, that definitely shows some rejection up there. But that does not mean that you short into a double bottom low, right? This is a missed trade. If you are not short already, you have missed this trade, and you have to accept that as a trader, right? You have to be able to accept that. Shorting here, right? The risk reward is totally inversed, right? This is not a short into double bottom lows, right? Because you are just, you have no margin on your short, right? This is all you're going to get on your short. You have to think about that. How much can I get on my short? You can't think that you're going to get a move under 357 as a short here, right? Because that's just not respecting levels. You're not paying attention to the double bottom hold that came in from Thursday, Friday. So if you are to short here, which I would never short here, right? You are shorting for this much movement, and your stop loss needs to be above 361. So you're shorting for this and risking this, right? That doesn't make sense. Now, here's where this short makes sense, right? This is, if this happens, this is where it makes sense. If you get a move under 357, you start to reject 357, then, right, you short for this and you're risking that, right? Then we're in the money, right? Then we're looking good. We short here with the stop over 357 targeting that move. And that is risk reward, right? But you can't set that trade up until you get confirmation that 357 is broken and is now turning into rejections. So today, you better be careful, right? Because this is a pre-market downside move, which is going to get some horned up bears who are probably going to short into double bottom lows, right? You're going to get some horned up bears that open, shorting into double bottom lows. If this thing holds 357, there is 100% an opportunity of a short squeeze off that level. People that shorted into a hole, right, are getting squeezed out, and we move back up to the top side of the channel. That is exactly what happened, right? And I'm not bearish or bullish, right? I'm just playing off levels. That is exactly what happened to the bulls, right? That longed into the 100, longed into this 361.50 on Friday morning, right? Started longing because they were horned up in the morning, right? Because there was a pre-market upside, and this thing rejects, right? So it goes both ways, right? It goes both ways. Be careful of these pre-market moves. Watch your levels. Trust your levels. 357 is your level here. If you see a break and hold below, I like the short. If you see this maintain 357, you better be careful of being short down here, right? Because this is absolutely an area that could hold. It could turn into a triple bottom, right? And it could push back to the upside just like it did the last few days, right? So definitely a watch, right? Keep an eye on that level, 357. That's the level I'm watching today, all right? You don't think there's I would not short into 357, Eddie. It's as simple as that, man. I don't really care about so I guess let me reiterate. There's always, right, guys, there's always opportunities out there, right? There's opportunities every second of the market, right? The market moves every second, right? So there is an opportunity technically every second of the day. Now, I'm going to tell you this just from experience, right? After 10 years of trading and after 5 years of losing and after 5 years of taking just mindless setups that don't make sense, just trying to take something, I do my best still, right? I do my best, right? Because I still am a human being and I still will take trades that maybe I regret, right? Of course, that will always happen in trading. You will never be perfect. I'm not interested, right? I don't care, right? If the market goes to 359 and moves back to 357, I'm not interested in trading that. It's not a move that I'm interested in taking, right? It's not enough movement. There's no meat on that bone, right? The meat that I want is the real clean trade, right? I want the clean trade. I want the break of double bottom lows. I want the retest of double bottom lows. I want that nice clean setup, right? Nice clean trade. And that's what I'm looking for, right? And if it's not that, it's nothing. And I think that's the mindset that will save you a lot of money, right, in the long term. Eddie, it's a great question, man. Don't think I'm harping down on you. That's a question that is necessary. there's other ways to trade, right? There's other ways. You don't have to trade the way I trade, right? You don't have to wait to trade the way I trade. But I just am not interested in those little intermediary moves, right? If you look at these levels, there has been the larger opportunities off these levels for a week now, right? If you just shorted the supply highs and long the demand lows this entire week, right? These were the biggest opportunities, right? What were the biggest trades over the last 2 weeks? Shorting here and shorting here. What were the biggest long opportunities? Longing here, let's say, longing here, right? These were the best trades. And I can almost guarantee you that if you were to take the profitability or the results of a trader that only took this trade, let's say you had a trader that only took 2 trades in the last 2 weeks, right? Let's take that for example. There's a trader A, right? Trader A only took 2 trades in the last 2 weeks. All he did was short the 15,000 level, and he made, 50%, right? Then you have trader B, who took 79 trades last week and traded within this channel 79 times and made 1%, right? Who would you rather be? Okay? Who would you rather be? For me personally, I'm trader A all day. I'm trading off the key level when it hits. If it hits, I'm going to play this probabilities. I'm going to play the setup. I'm not interested in just trading all day inside this channel. I'm only going to trade off the levels that I talk about in this live stream. I'm going to try my best to do that, right? I'm going to make a conscious effort to do that, right? Doesn't mean I'm going to always do that, because I'm a human being and we always make some intraday decisions that sometimes we regret or sometimes they work out. But I am going to prepare myself. I'm going to speak it into existence on this live stream that I'm only going to trade these levels, right? That's what I'm going to attempt to do as I enter a market day. So hopefully that makes sense. Sorry for the little tangent there, but I think a necessary one. So ES, I'm not interested in shorts anymore, right? I'm not interested in shorts anymore. Why am I not interested in shorts this morning? I don't care that the market's down. I don't care that we're moving lower. I'm not going to short into a major demand both at 4,300 and the 200 SMA, right? I do not see any meat on this bone to be short this morning into the 200 SMA and into 4,300, right? The short is over. If you shorted pre-market, if you shorted the futures, right, around this 4,350, then great, right? Beautiful trade. Well done, right? That's your short up at supply. But if you are this trader who shorted up here at 4,350, then you have to be starting to consider profit taking here, right? Some traders will hold because they think the market's going to go down 50% and the world is going to end, and they are 100% right here, right? A good trader will now consider taking profits down here because they know there is possibility of a 200 SMA hold. There's previous demand holds here from all of last week, right? So we need to be cautious being short into this 200 SMA, 4,310 and 4,300. All right? So watch out for that level today. Now, where would I look to potentially go short on the very short term, right? The very short-term short here, short-term short, is a retest of 43.25, right? It's a retest here for maybe a little scalp back to the 200, right? But at least I'm waiting for the retest, right? At least I'm waiting for us to retest back into these rejection points, back into this pre-market little low here. That's something I will be considering, but that still is low, sort of, I think that's low, it's not the big move, right? It's not the big move because then you're shorting right back into the 200. I'm not too fond of that. What's the big move today, right? What's the big move? The big move is the break under 43, right? The break under 43, the rejection of 43, right? And the continuation lower. The break and retest of that double bottom low would be gorgeous, right? That would be gorgeous. That's the juicy move, right? That's the one you want to catch. So I would prepare for that, right? I'd keep your eyes out for that. I'd look to see what happens if we retest this 4,300 level. Do we come back down? We could hold it, right? That's very possible. Or do we see a break and retest below it? And if we do, that's your short, right? That's your short right there. So we'll see. This 4,300 today is going to be major, right? And so is this 200 SMA, which has sort of been maintaining this market for the last 4 days, right? Look at this, 200 right here, bam, right? 200, bam, bam, bam. 200 Friday lows, bam, hold, right? And so what could you see today? You could absolutely see this. And if you short, right? If you short in the morning and this thing holds to 200, you have no one to blame but yourself, right? And you have to accept that. As a trader, you have to take responsibility for what you do, right? That's another big thing that we need to continue to do as a trader, right? We cannot blame other things for our losses. We need to blame ourselves, right? We have to take responsibility for what we do, right? And so if you short this, right? If we short this into 200, into 4,300, and this thing bounces and it rips, right? Right? You have to say, hey, I did the wrong thing. I shorted into the levels I knew could hold, and that's what I have to accept, and I have to move on, right? So be careful of the 200. Be careful of 4,300. These are very, very important potential bounce levels today. I'd be careful being short down here. If you break and hold below it, that could be pretty nice, right? If you do get that bounce, I would want to see at least, right? I would at least want to see a hold back over 43.25 for upside, right? If you're going to look to play upside today off this 4,300 area, right? If you're sort of thinking, okay, yeah, Desi said don't be short here, so do I look to long here? I don't know if I'd look to long here, right? Because I would want to see us at least over this 43.25 before even considering longs. And even at that point, right? Even at that point, you have to also consider how short of a trade that probably is, right? Because you've seen the market stay very sideways, and I would only recommend a long here for nothing but a short-term scalp, right? Nothing but a short-term scalp is what I would recommend on the long there. So that's the ES. Let's go to the SPY. Pretty much the same thing here, right? We can see right here, SPY 428. That was our key level, right? Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that 200 SMA, guys. I got to be honest with you. I'm keeping it there because it has been showing that it's been respected, right? So I'm using price action as confirmation in a way, but I've seen a lot of different 200 SMAs out there. I'm not sure. I'm not the guy who codes this or whatever the hell, right? I've seen my 200 SMA be lower. I've seen it be here. I'm not sure why this is occurring. I'm on adjust for contract change on the ES and on the Nasdaq. I'm on the December 23rd contract. So I'm not sure exactly why. Maybe you're on the different contracts than me. I've seen what you guys are seeing. It's in a different spot. But why am I keeping it here? Why am I respecting it? Because the price action has respected it, right? That's all, right? That's all. Why am I keeping the 200 here? Why am I still respecting it? It's because it has been respected, right? Look at the price action. I'm using real data as confirmation that there is something here, right? And we can see it right in front of our eyes, right? So that's why I'm keeping it there. SPY. So 428, that's your level that broke today. That was a very key hold level, which is now broken. You can see right here, 428, 428. It is now broken, right? That's not good for the SPY. So if the SPY stays under 428, I would not be looking long SPY, right? You could reject that 428 very nicely today. Now, you guys have to be careful, right? If you look to the downside, you have to be careful of this demand at 425, right? You can see right here, 425, 425, and 425 double bottom from Thursday. So watch out if you get downside, right? Watch out for that 425 demand, okay? So 425, 428, 431, those are your SPY levels today. Hopefully that aligns with what you're looking at. Russell. I have nothing new for the Russell, guys. I think the Russell is going to maintain in this channel. That's my read, right? If you ask me what do I think about the Russell, I think the Russell is going to trade within this channel for an extended period of time. I don't know exactly how long, but I'm going to say extended period of time. That's what I'm going to say. Between 1840 and 1760, I expect the Russell to trade within this channel that it traded in for about 4 months, right? 3 months. 3 months. It traded within this channel. You are right back in it, and I expect it to do the same thing again. So that's what I would be watching. Russell between 1840 and 1760. I would not trade it, right? I would not trade the Russell unless it is at one of these extremes, right? Simple as that. You're either at 180 on the IWM, 180 IWM, 170 IWM. Let's just call it 180 to 170. That's probably about the levels you should be watching. 170 to 180 IWM, 10-point range that you traded in for months, and you are right back in it. Is there a short off 180 here? Very possible. Very possible. Is there a short right here off 180 back towards 170? Very possible. All right, Dow Jones, big level here. All right, we talked about this on the daily, 33,600. You're coming down into this major Dow daily chart demand. You can see it right here, right? All these holds at 33,600. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And you have 5 here. Volumes increasing, 33.6. Keep an eye on that Dow level here into the next few days. All right. Let's go over some stocks. Tesla. We got delivery numbers coming out here soon, apparently, right? At least that's the expectation here. I'm waiting to see what happens. I haven't seen it come out yet. I don't see any movement on Tesla yet. News. It's due this week. I see some things about it being today, 8 to 9 a.m. Eastern. So we'll see. We'll see if we get it here in the pre-market. It's never really an exact time, Tesla delivery numbers, but let's just sort of look at Tesla as it is right now. You guys can see right here, that 255 supply, very important. This was some previous lows, 255, 255. When we rejected 255, it broke down heavy, right? Look at this breakdown after we lost 255, right? We gave up that 255 right here. The market said, hey, I can no longer hold 255. I've tried my best, right? My shoulders are giving out. My legs are giving out. I can no longer hold this level, and I got to drop, right? And so after we broke under that 255, this thing gave up, right? And so when you get back to that level, which you did on Friday, right, you have to watch for that rejection, and that was the trade of the day, right? 255. You push back up, you reject it, bam, move back into the 248, very nice slide. Now, what do you watch today, right? Very easy. It's very easy. You just respect the levels that the market has respected. That's all. Just respect the levels the market has respected. 255 supply, and I considered moving this down to the lows, right, just to be safe. I think I am going to do that. So, here's what I will say, guys. This is something I do a lot, and I think this is something you probably would want to adapt as well. So I previously had, and there's nothing wrong with doing this as you do your analysis, right? So let me explain what I'm about to say. This live stream might run a little long today, but I hope this is providing value to you guys. If I have a level at 248, right? That was my demand level from Friday. If I see the market break down, right, break under that 248 and then end up holding up, I want to be looking at that low of day, right? I want to make sure I know where that low of day is. And here's why, right? If I come into this market today, right, and I trade Tesla, right, if I see 248 and I see it reject and I'm not paying attention, right, let's say for some reason it slips my mind where the previous low of day was, right? If that slips my mind, right, and I short here, and I don't remember that the low of day is right here, I could get caught up in that, right? And I could look back at my trade and say, what the hell were you doing, man? Why are you shorting into the previous day lows, right? That doesn't make sense. Why short into previous day lows, right? So when I see something like this where my level was broken and a new low was created on that previous day, I like to do something like this, right? This is what I like to do. I like to protect myself. I would rather miss a trade than lose money on a trade. So what I like to do in this situation is I get to that low, which is around 246.35, and I put the line there, right? That's my new zone, right? Because I can see that this was the high and the low of the previous day, and I need to not trade unless it's at one of these levels, right? Why are you trading in between the high and the low of the previous day? Why not just trade the longs off the previous lows, right? Maybe the shorts off the previous highs. Or why not trade the short under the previous lows or the longs over the previous highs, right? Those are the only trades I'm interested in. I'm not interested in everyone, being bored, trading random places on Tesla all day, throwing away their money, right? I'm long here, I'm short here, I'm long here, I'm short here. Now I'm long again, I'm short again, right? Oh my God, what is this? Is this a little bull flag? Oh, here's another trade. No, I'm not interested, right? I'm only interested in trading here or here, right? And if that doesn't hit, I walk away and I don't take a trade, right? That's the key. And I say this to try to put this in my, I say this because I try to put this in my mind, right, before every trading day, right? So that's sort of my idea, right? Let's delete those arrows. I think you don't have good self-awareness because most of your losses seem to happen when you trade to close at open. You then go to say you are going to wait and take a trade after 30 seconds. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate that, brother. Yeah, it's tough when you're human, It's tough when you see, this is what happens, when you're fully transparent and you show when you lose and when you take trades, right? On live, when I trade live on Discord, sometimes I make a mistake, right? Sometimes I take a trade and I take a loss, right? Then you got people like Nick who come back and pretend like they're the best, right? And they tell me why I do things wrong, right? Now, I understand that, right? I know that. I already talk about that. I say that's why I make mistakes, right? There's always going to be mistakes that you make. There's always going to be something that causes you to make the wrong decision, right? That is, as we are human beings, and that is going to happen, right? But we try our best, right? We try our best to stay disciplined, right? And to stick to our plan, right? That's what's going to end up, that is what's going to end up bringing us to success, right? I'm not worried about him, guys. I'm not worried at all. You think I care? Do you actually think I walk away and I care? No, I don't care. I know what I'm doing. Guys, that's the best part, right? When you know what you're doing, it doesn't matter to me, right? It doesn't matter to me what people say. So, Nvidia, 1 hour chart, right? 443, 445, right? Big level there. 443, 445. One low, two lows, a low here and a low here, right? Now, look at what's going on, right? Look at what's going on Nvidia, right? You're pushing up into that supply, right? That is very important. We have to be careful of that supply level here. Yeah, we got 2,000 people here and 600 likes. Come on, guys. Let's get those likes if you could. Let's get those likes. Let's get those likes. All right. So what is Nvidia doing this morning, right? Nvidia is pushing up. It's gapping up, right? Which is also something I like. I like a gap up because I could see if I could play that gap fill, right? And so Nvidia is gapping up into that 20 SMA and into that supply at 443, 445. Could you make the case for the Nvidia rejection, right, at 443 and that gap fill back into 434? Absolutely. I think you could absolutely make the case for that today, right? You see that low here, that previous double top high, and then look at that rejection that's coming in here at 443. Nuss, I know you're an OG, man. I know Nuss is an OG, man, because he said hit the like button. That's only OG live stream people remember the like button. So here's what I'm watching today, right? This 443 to 445, right, in that 20 SMA area. This looks a little heavy up here. I'm not too interested in shorts up here. Or I'm sorry, in longs into this level. I'm a little bit more interested to see if this rejects again, and maybe I can play that gap fill into that 434 area. We'll see. right? If Nvidia has a beast of a day and just runs away and sort of breaks and holds above this zone, then maybe we got to look for that upside today. I would watch that 20 SMA, I'd watch that 50 SMA, and I would really pay attention. Just sort of keep in the back of your mind, guys, before you long Nvidia today, just know you are longing it back into some of these major lows and major double top highs. This is, without a doubt, a heavy level on Nvidia, a heavy zone between that 443 and 445. Be a little bit cautious in there, all right? All right. We got to go real quick. We're going to go speed around here, guys. I'm sorry. I got a little bit carried away today with some, I think important trading topics and important concepts to pay attention to. But we got a little carried away, but that's all right. Let's go speed round. Apple. I have nothing for you on Apple besides this channel, right? That's all you're watching. 173.50 to 169. It's as clear as day. Previous lows into new rejections, right? That is the definition of break and retest. Previous lows into new rejections. You guys can clearly see this is a stair step. Think of this as a stair step, right? You have a stair and you have a step. This is your new stair, right? So your stair, right? The previous low of the low of the previous stair is the high of the next stair, right? And you can see the previous lows are turning into new highs, right? And that's not good. That's bearish. Now, if that structure breaks, this is what they say, market structure, right? If that structure breaks and you get back above that stair, then you can expect upside, right? But what you look for now is you look for continuous rejections of that stair low, the previous stair low into new stair highs, right? So 173.50, watch rejections up there, demand down at 169, all right? That is a very clean chart, right? This should make sense to you. If this doesn't make sense to you, then you still got some work to do. This chart right here should make 100% sense to you. That is a very clean chart, right? And something I would continue to try to learn, right? Look at how clean this is. Break and retest, new low, right? Previous low into new high. Netflix. So this is a very early read, right? Let me preface that really quick. This is very early along the road of maybe some Netflix upside, right? You are maybe even weeks out from this potentially working. But Netflix, it's very interesting here. You have this previous double top high on the daily chart, and you have the 200 SMA. And this thing has just started to flatline here a little bit, right? You can see right here, 30-minute chart on Netflix. It's really slowing down. It held that 200 on Thursday. It held that 375 on Friday. Is this potentially going to give us something? I'm in for it with some small risk, but, we'll see. I'm not too confident on it yet, right? It's not like I'm going full size here because I think this is where, Netflix bottoms. I understand it could still move lower, but I'm going to watch this 370 and this 200 SMA. Keep an eye on that level. AMD, I wanted to point something out on AMD today. It is this 102.50 level. I actually think this is a very big level today on AMD. Let me show you why. 102.50. So look at this 30-minute chart, right? Look at these previous highs around this 102.50, 103, right? Look how clear that was. Major previous rejections that caused aggressive downside. Now, look what happened on Thursday. You just had a rally to the upside, right? Huge rally to the upside. Now, look at what's holding on. Right? 102.50, 102.50. This morning, 102.50, right? So 102.50 is now holding on, something I would absolutely be watching, right? So watch that, and watch that. Triple bottom low, previous triple top high. Watch that 102.50 today on AMD. All right? Last one I got for you today, guys, is probably my top watch. If you guys could, before I get into this, once again, if you could just hit the press the like button, I would very much appreciate that. Let's try to get to 1,000 likes today. We got 2,000 people in here. We have half of you, 50% of you have pressed the like button. If you could, maybe try to get us to 60, maybe 70% to press the like button. That would be fantastic. Here's Amazon, 129, right? In the thick boy green line, right? There's your thick boy again. You can see right here, triple bottom low, thick boy green line on Friday, rejected heavily right up at that 129, right? So you're pushing potentially back into that thick boy, right? So watch that 129 and that 100 SMA right there. That's very important. So what I'm going to look for today is a little morning squeeze on Amazon and that fade, right? If you can get a nice little morning squeeze, get all the bulls sort of chasing this thing to the upside, and then reject at the exact level it rejected on Friday, which is just the obvious rejection level that, some people are not going to pay attention to, of course. And then I'm going to look to see if that wants to fade that level, right? That's my one watch. I'm going to keep an eye on that. Now, of course, if it breaks and it holds above, right, I'm going to look for that as well, right? I'll look for that as well. If you break and you hold above that 129, that could be a long. So either way, watching Amazon at 129 and that 100 SMA today, I think that's a very interesting watch. All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's live stream. Just know I will always be 100% honest with you guys, harshly honest, truthfully honest. I will always give you the hard truths that maybe will upset you, maybe they don't. That's what I am. That's who I am. That's the core of, my friends say this about me. My family says this about me. And I'm not going to not have you guys say that about me and try to be something I'm not. So I hope you guys enjoy it, right? I hope you guys enjoy the live streams. I hope you enjoy the brutal honesty. I always will do that. Yeah. Thank you guys again for being here. If you guys enjoy it, please press the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. I do this for free every single morning. All it takes, all I ask is a little bit of support by doing something that's 100% free from you. And that is pressing the subscribe button or pressing the like button. Thank you guys again. I hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah. Peace.